Well, one of the things that really interests me from our chat a little while ago is your connection to Tainan as a city. And I wonder, I've just recently been doing some work in the UK where we've been looking at universities that are very much part of the city in which they're in, and modern universities that sit on the outside. They almost create a separate town or a separate entity that sometimes competes with the town. So I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the relationship between the university and the city and how you see that.
Well, in a way, I grew up in the neighborhood, but to be honest with you, I did not quite sense there's a significant presence of the university until I returned after my graduate study. And even further, I have never so sort of sensitive or keen to further explore potential of better link between this university and the city until I came to the office. So I think the university is very, very unique in a way that if you look around for the past 80 years or so, this is the only major significant academic institution in this great Tainan city. Tainan city also being one of the oldest one of the oldest capital, ancient capital culture town of the city. And above that, even more critically, as I ask myself why we should be further engaged in this university and the future city development, is for the fact that there are probably only 3 to 4 major top-tier universities in Taiwan, in all fairness, academic ranking-wise, size-wise, and their level of comprehensive backgrounds. But this university is the only one truly rooted rooted in the city from the first day of its establishment, because we were from day one established by the Japanese administrators at that particular time, with the aim to have the first ever highest level of academic institution to cultivate the top tier engineers, not just the technicians, engineers who are expected to be the key designer of the future development of the entire Taiwan, not only the Tainan city.
Okay.
So I think in day one, if you look at this history and the sort of the attributes, the DNAs of how this university all started, we have a very profound and important role to ask ourselves in what way and we can better engage in the daily life of the city, in the future possibility of the city, and to be a very integral element of the citizens while they grow up. So I hope in the future that we can better present ourselves more visibly, more meaningfully through our research, through the way we educate our students, and through the way that we highlight our value in every decision we make and in every activity we engage in, to show that we are the partner, we are also organic, a very, very organic member of this city and its future.
One of the things that I notice, and perhaps something that's quite different from, I would say, the majority of English universities, is that your campus is very permeable. That people come,
yes,
citizens come.
Yes,
it's a park, it's a place that they enjoy.
Yes.
Every night where we are working at the Arts Centre, high school, kids come and they play and they dance. I've not seen so much dancing, I think, anywhere.
Or you need to go to another corner We'll show you.
Okay.
Where they are dancing. Yeah.
But the level of activity here, cultural activity, sporting activity, is quite remarkable. And you look at it from the outside, and you look at the picture of the university of being scientific, technological, medical, predominantly. But actually, the life, the social and cultural life of the place, particularly through the student body, is remarkable. It really is remarkable. And it is a very, very creative campus in so many ways.
As you were speaking, I happened to come across an image on my head. Last night, I left my office, and I was already into the dark. But the evening just started, and so I took a very, very quick photo from my phone that on the track, the stadium, the track, the field track, there would be my neighbors, right, from the community right next to us, walking casually and very, very just relaxed, walking on the track. Along with that, very, very close to its position, there were our university athletes training seriously for the track exercise. And in between, at a very, very limited space, there will be a volleyball game taking place. So everything will come around, at one stadium, happening at the same time on one spot, and at the same moment. I was just enchanted. I was so moved, and I was all of a sudden all energized. It makes, I don't know, in a way, you feel that it's such a privilege to be able to be part of the university member, as well as someone who also natively grew up here, and feeling that, wow, on one hand, my fellow citizen, on the other hand, my fellow colleagues and students are so, in a way, immersed with
sort
each
of integrated, embedded with each other. It's very special.
Without specific manipulation of any design. And I feel this is a life that we can show to not only the people from out of town, but also the people around the world, that university truly can serve much better for the city. And university is very much deemed to be the engine of our next the future world. Put it this way. So I think we are blessed to be able to make this campus open to our citizens. We are privileged to have the culture. We are, in a way, I think, should be more sensitive to the possibility that we can connect our students, faculty, regardless of where they are from, and the citizens of China, hopefully the citizen of our country, so that this is a new model, a new a lifestyle, and new partnership that we can learn and enjoy.
I've had my organisation in the UK has now hosted some 25 students from the university, and their presence has been exemplary. Their role, their demeanour, their activity has been second to none, and it's a matter of pride, I think, for this university.
Thank you for the compliment.
Incredible.
Yeah, thank you. We were lucky, and we are proud to be informed that our students are able to present that caliber and that kind of quality. At least they are our ambassadors, not only representing the university, but also, I think, representing the new young generations of people from this part of the world.
Yes.
And I knew, and I know, I think from a personal testimony that how important that is from my days studying in the U.S. And I like to see that through our effort to facilitate a platform for the young generation to be better mingle and engage with each other in their early years, they would be more together when they mature going to the future, that they would have that solid mutual understanding, that mutual sort of trust to build a better world together.
I think the world has a lot to learn from young people in this part of the world. A lot.
Exactly.
Well, one of the things in coming here this time to talk about the creative continuum, all too often the word creative is linked to the arts and culture, but actually it runs through all academic disciplines. It runs through all areas of study and knowledge. And so we wanted to highlight that through what we were talking about through this project. But also we want, a university is seen as a construct of bricks and mortar and land and all the physical attributes, but actually it's something that exists through time. The body and the embodiment of the university is everybody that has passed through here, that goes on to do other things.
Exactly.
It's an incredible body through space and time. And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about, obviously any university, any institution is based on certain values, and those values go forward to the future.
Yes.
But there are aspirations for the future as well, and about what might become.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that.
I think the university, for his history, I think even now, for the past 20, 30 years, university is best known to cultivate graduates that are most favored, most welcome, and most highly praised by the industries here as being a responsible employees, have a team spirit, and present solid work, and so forth. So that has been always characterized as the key elements of graduate from this university. And we definitely appreciate and I think we are also proud to be able to have this kind of graduates. And again, I think we're also always know that university is best presented by the quality of their graduates, by the activity, the accomplishments, the engagements of their graduates. So along with the line, I see that in the future, we should further highlight that how we move into the next century based on the values we had, but aspire for a new horizon, which I would tentatively define it as even further socially engaged, and then even more culturally sensitive, and then even more visionary and sort of ambitious for the unknown future.
Okay.
I like to see our graduates are more comfortable, confident, aggressive in finding their spot, their presence, their potential, their possibility in every and any corner of the world, rather than confined to the China city, confined to where we see the edges of Taiwan Island, or even just the Asia, and just the previously familiar territory of Europe and states maybe. Now we are increasingly seeing our students coming from Central and South America. We have a very, very speedy and rapid rise in the number of students from Africa, and even the East and Central Europe and all that. And I see that with the diversity of their culture, their origin, their religion, belief, and so forth, being brought into this campus and being actively and organically interacted with our local students, I am confident and I'm hopeful that in the decades to come, we are about to see our graduates and any graduates of any ethnic background that will challenge the new frontier and in any part of the world, but with a core value that they will serve for the disadvantaged. They will create something that most people can afford. They would then take that technology to benefit and to improve the life of those people who are now left unseen, unattended in any part of the world. So I see that new global presence, that social responsibility that will be undertaken as their core belief, core value in heart as they go through this education.
And I can see you're passionate about that too.
At least that's how I
Yes,
how I enjoy my work.
Yeah. Okay. I think that to understand your passion is very important. So
my belief, my very impossibly romantic belief and value in my heart.
I share it. So.
As I go through the day.
I share it.
Yes.
Walking around the campus, being shown around the campus, and discovering things. So there is so much to discover, and still in that process very much. But going into the museum, going into a room in the upstairs of the museum, one sees pictures, portraits of past presidents of the university.
For 85 years, right?
Yeah, and they're all men.
Yes.
And then we get to one picture at the end, and it's you. And that feels something very important and very special. Do you want to say something about what it means for you to be the first woman president, but also about the importance of women coming through in these roles?
Put it this way, I consider myself being very, very lucky and fortunate to have grown up in a family that very, very carry a firm belief in old tradition, how the men and women should behave, and how they should embrace as their core value as they go through the life. At the same time, I was offered with the opportunity to go around the world, to have been able to receive probably some of the best education from the modern society. So in a way, and even with my time in the States, I honestly, I have never sensed any sort of differences in terms of gender, professionally. Most of my study experiences, predominantly high percentage of my classmates are males, sometimes 95%. Through my academic experiences, most of my appointments, very high level appointments, I often to be the only female and relatively younger representative in the community. But I must say that truly, from the bottom of my heart, I've never sensed any particular differences. So in answering your earlier inquiry, whether I feel any special being the first woman when I was appointed, first female president when I was appointed, and so forth. No, I did not. But I must say that through the time I'm now in the office, into my 20th month, I know there's still a distinctive and very unique, unspoken and subtle challenge, not visible on the surface, but every day in my activity and my life. And hopefully, I ask myself and I encourage myself when encountering all the challenges and obstacles, difficulties, and sometimes very, very deep frustration at the end of the day when those situations are impossible to be discussed on the table. I would then realize there must be a meaning for me to come at this time, at this phase of the university development, or even at this particular time of my country's development. So the only thing then I can continue to energize myself or motivate myself, try to serve as a good model, a role model for not only the female students or my women peer scholars or those who will come after us, that something should always come back to how this person is rather than which gender this person is. And I'd like to continue share that belief with both my male colleagues and my female colleagues, my male students and my female students, and the other genders.
So the burden of leadership and the joys of leadership transcend gender.
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Okay.
Put it this way.
Yeah.